Yes, this thing looks awesome. No, it's not a Ford Bronco. It's a GWM Tank 300. Let's have a closer look at this. So looking at the suspension on these GWM tanks, the front is a very similar setup to what you'd find under your modern dual cab, your Hilux or your Ranger or whatever else. So similar coilover strut independence type setup. And then in the rear we have just a pretty standard 5-link, so 4 trailing arm, 1 panhard setup in the rear. So pretty good setup. You can get pretty good travel out of these things. The travel from the factory is reasonable. With our kit fitted, we've picked up probably about another inch or so on the front, and in the rear we've picked up about another sort of 40 mil as well. So the rear, pretty nice setup. Plenty of room with brake lines and that. We do require sway bar extensions. They get pretty close to the coil at full droop. But other than that, it's a pretty sort of standard setup. So looking at the suspension that we do for these, we're doing a 45 mil lift front and rear for them. And we'll have different options available as well. So we'll have different rate ratings for the front and rear, where you have accessories fitted and that sort of thing. So, and then the shock absorbers will be doing the IMS monotube shock kit for them. So, pretty good platform all in all, good setup, reasonably good geometry, and the ride quality is surprisingly good, and we'll have a closer look at that shortly. So looking at the ride quality on it, even as they come from the factory, the ride quality is surprisingly good. Pretty damn smooth. When we looked at the ride frequencies, this will be something we would change, more so because the front to rear ride frequency split wasn't really ideal, so we made a few improvements there. We changed up the damping and the spring rates a little bit as well while we were going. So once the kit's fitted, even this particular vehicle has the Big Maxxis all-terrain tyres on it with a pretty heavy sidewall. Even with those tyres, the ride quality on these things is very impressive. From factory it's good, but with our kit it's even better. It's smooth as, it's, I would say, comparable with Toyota, 300 series, Prados, any sort of current Everest, ride quality comparable. It's really nice, drives unbelievably nice really for what we were looking at. So definitely they've stepped their game up with their suspension setups. All right, so all in all, the suspension setup, the geometry, the handling, and the ride quality of these GWMs is very impressive. And with our kit fitted, it's even better again. So also we've been able to throw some 285 70/17 Maxxis under the wheel wells there without scrubbing. So another little bonus as well. So great suspension setup. Great ride and handling, and we should have these kits available towards the end of 2023, early 2024.